Hello, hi, welcome to June TBR. We're not talking about what the humidity did to my hair. Oh my god. Whoops. There are 10 books on the list. I got my sticky note with 10 books. I also have my iPad because as we all know, I suck at remembering what books are about. So the way I'm going to do it this time is I am going to look up the synopses on Goodreads 3 at a time, and then the 5 minutes take me to read those 3 synopses. I will tell you what those 3 are, and then the last one just gets to be on its own. But I don't think I have to look up that one. That one's pretty basic. Okay, it's fine. And the first 3 are all the theme vlog ones, so you know, good times. Okay, synopses read, and I really don't know what the middle one was. Summer Sons is about 2 best friends, and one of them goes away for schooling. Like, they're so close, they're like brothers, right? And one of them goes away for schooling, and then like 6 months later, oh whoops, he's dead. Chosen by choice. Trying to make the algorithm happy. And so the other one's like, that's suspicious, that's weird, and goes to try to figure it out. And things are happening, weird things are happening. All of these give Cold Wet vibes. The middle one not as much, which is great because I went, hey, I'm in a romance era, and the fish chose these. Second one is The Darkest Part of the Forest. This was the first Holly Black I've read, and also it's the standalone. I love that, right? But I have no clue. I read that whole synopsis twice, and I was like, what is this? From my understanding, fae and humans live side by side type thing. Very much Snow White type thing, where there is a fae boy in a coffin, in a glass coffin in the woods, and Hazel and her brother, I think his name's Ben, both were lovers of this guy, and they spent years, like generations, like she was like pretending to be a knight at one point, to try to free him. That's my best guess. Honestly, I've read that whole thing twice and I'm just like head empty. And then the third one is The Taking of Jake Livingston, which follows Jake, who is basically the only black kid in his school, minus his older brother, but his brother's popular. He's not, and also he can see ghosts, and then all of a sudden there's a ghost who was a shooter and killed a bunch of people, and is now using Jake to kill more people, I believe. And that's what's happening. And you know, I did read a book this month and I went, you know what I really love? Because it was like Seeing Ghosts was part of it. And I was like, I would really love a Seeing Ghosts book. But it turns into a murder mystery, like using ghosts to solve a murder mystery. And then I remembered that's the plot of one of the books I want to write. That's so funny, me. You know, I only had to look up, I'm going to do 4 in this one because I forgot one of these is a reread and 2 others are continuing series that I know well enough that I don't have to look up the synopses. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It's on my 24 and 2024. It's like the top one here. And it's not at any of my libraries. That's basically why I'm planning to read it, because I have Kindle unloaded for free for like 3 months because they had one of their deals, right? And so that's the only way I can get my hands on it. That is why it's on my TBR. That is 100% why. And it is about the human adopted daughter of the vampire king, and how to get what she wants or needs or something, she has to enter trials made by the goddess of death herself. I literally had never read the synopsis when I put it on the list. I just heard a few people talk about it, right? Which is so funny. I love that for me. When the tiger comes down the mountain, I don't remember what the first book is titled, but I did read it, I think like 2 years ago, maybe 3. This is gonna be my book for the Buzzwordathon for June, which I think is a multiple of words, and because the is in it twice, that's why I chose it, right? Also it's queer and it's June, makes sense. But basically the whole premise of the series is stories told and whatnot. It's literally just storytelling. That's the whole premise. I don't know if the story from the first one is going to be interconnected to the rest, but, and also it's kind of short, and that's that one. Hellbent. It is a book that I keep on borrowing from the library and then keep on returning and then keep on borrowing again for like the past 2-3 months. I read Ninth House in, I think, December. I think I initially rated it 3.5. I upped it to 4 recently because I read Six of Crow duology, right? And I realized that the slow pace that I complained about, and that was the main reason why it wasn't a 4-star, it's just actually bargaining for me, right? It takes me longer to read it, which is why I keep on pushing off Hellbent, despite the fact that I'm very excited and very hyped. Especially since I think her duologies are for me. I think there's supposed to be a third one at some point, but it's like one of those things where it's very far down the line. Do not worry about it. Type thing. But yeah, I like want to read it. I honestly may replace. You can see the one with the one red dot. That's the one SMP I went through and I made sure, and that's the one SMP one. So I was gonna read it this month too. Very sad. So I may just put Hellbent there. Next one, The Ghost We Keep by Mason Deaver. The one that I jokingly call the sad Mason Deaver. Oh my god, trucks outside. Down at the road. Not on my road. It's just so loud that you can hear them. The Ghost We Keep. The sad Mason Deaver. I jokingly call it. Because we read I Wish You All the Best for the podcast last June. Right? And I said, it's not even the sad one. And I cried. It was my second time reading it. I cried. The fish cried. I would like everyone to know that when I read The Ghost We Keep, I sobbed. It follows a character whose brother dies in a hit and run. This is why I cry, because that part is based off of Mason Deaver's actual real life, where their father was killed in a hit and run. When I read that author's note, just the waterworks, okay? But yeah, basically it follows the younger brother, who I think uses they them pronouns, and trying to like heal from that. Also, I'm pretty sure they're the one that found their brother's body, right? But also like trying to connect with their friends from beforehand, but also connect with their grief and the trauma of that, but also trying to connect with their brother's best friend, who they've had a crush on for years, to learn that actually no, that's the secret boyfriend of their brother. And a bunch of other shit. It's heartbreaking and I love it. Honestly, I think just the first three were the ones I needed to look up, because I'm pretty sure I can do these without looking them up. Oh my god. Not just Gal Pals. Thankfully, I have a Kindle Unlimited because I couldn't get it anywhere else. I think it is self-published via Kindle, right? So that's why. But it is for the podcast, right? Just like The Ghost We Keep, which is a small town, picture small town autumn Hallmark movie, The Lesbians. That's what it is. And so I'm very excited. I don't know anything else about it other than that, but like that alone, just the vibes. I don't want to look at the synopsis. Just the vibes are everything I need. Things We Left Behind, the last book in the Knock 'Em Out series, right? This one follows the fish's favorite boy of the boys. I think his name's like Lucian or something. I don't know. They have like, I think it's gonna be second chance romance, because in the second one it heavily hinted at the fact that his love interest and him used to have a thing in high school, and now they hate each other. So it's lovers enemies to lovers, which is gonna be interesting. It is planned for July, but it's like the first July episode currently. It may change, but I want to get it right, because it's a long ass fucking book. We don't need to talk about it. And then on top of reading for the podcast, I'm also planning to just read in general ahead for the podcast. Specifically erotica if I can, right? And one of those is A Barely Happily Ever After. Listen, I don't know. I don't remember where I saw it. Was it Likewise? It may have been Likewise. It is by Jenica Snow. If you know anything, me and Jenica Snow have beef. I read the whole entire like Monsters Month series. The first one was The Beast. I read Dino Vlog. I think I've read the first two in vlogs. I read that one in my Beauty and the Beast vlog, well, last year I think it was. It was fine, it was whatever. I read The Hunter in a 24-hour vlog at some point last year. It wasn't as good, but it is whatever, it is whatever. And then I read the Goldilocks one from last year for the podcast, and I am still traumatized. And then I went on Luckwise, and I saw A Barely Happily Ever After, which is a bear shifter romance. So I'm gonna re-traumatize myself for the podcast. I'm actually very excited. That's gonna be, at least it'll be funny. Okay? It's gonna be a funny episode. I don't even remember when it goes up. It's so far in the future. So, like, stay tuned for that at some point. But, yeah, that's it. That's all 10. There were no book club books because both the books picked were not ones that I want to read. I really hope you cannot hear the birds. They're so loud. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I got things to do. Next video will be the weekend reading vlog. So that's the thing. Friday nights, Friday's podcast on the podcast channel, but also Fridays on this channel, me streams. I have them scheduled and uploading, so that's the thing if you want to check that out. Currently it's Stardew Valley only, but in around end of July, beginning of August, there will be other games, so.